I am Muhammad Naji Abu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So, in this video, we will discuss about a small machine learning based NLP project, okay, which is used for classifying a SMS, spam or ham. So, for this, we need a database. We got it from the Kaggle. Okay, so this is the data set. We got this is the URL of the Kaggle. Okay, from where we have downloaded the data set. So this data set is also attached with the GitHub. So I will share that too in my description. Okay. So this project I am planning to explain it like an end-to-end process from data pre-processing, model building, and also deployment. So first, like I will explain like line by line. Okay. Before that, let me try to run the project, and I will show you how it look like. Okay. So let me first run it. Okay. So start running. So let me open it. Cost 5,000. Okay. So this is a small, very basic UI. Okay. Here I can enter a text, and let me check it. Okay, it says it's a ham. Okay, then I can have a message something like hello, how are you? So this will say it's ham. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay. Now we will discuss about the each and every point. Okay. Okay. So this is I have created a so this is the project structure. Here I have created a notebook. Here you can see a class dot one notebook file. So first we will be importing pandas. Okay. Now this is the data set. I am going to download the data set. Okay. So in this particular data set we are only selecting the first two columns, okay, which is only needed for us. Okay. So let me print the data set. Okay. So we have the two data set, one is V1 and second one is V2. So we will rename these features like labels and messages. So let me rename it. See, now it is renamed. Now we can see that ham, and this is the messages. I mean, this is the feature, this is the dependent feature, and this is the independent feature. So here I will be using NLTK. So you can try installing pip install NLTK, and also like we can download the NLTK download stopwords. So it may take like a couple of minutes since I have already run. I am not going to do it now. Okay. So here we can have an import statement. We can import the NLTK, and this is the regular expression. We can import that. Okay. So let me import the stopwords. This is the stemming. So we need to stem the word. That means like we need to convert the word to its root word. So for that we will be using the potter stemmer. So here I have created a potter stemmer object. Here I am creating a stopwords list. So this is the default stopwords. Let me print that. I can print the stopwords here. See, it has like a lot of stopwords by default. Maybe I can check the length of it. Maybe it will give us the length. So 179 stopwords are there available. So here what we need to do, we need to exclude the not, everything that n bits not or like n from this list. Okay. So for that I have created a list comprehension. So this is very simple. So here I am going through like each stopwords. From that I am excluding the not and also not, and then this n double n slash dot also. So these nots, like I have these negative things we are excluding from the stopwords. Then finally we are creating our own stopwords. Okay. Now the next thing is that we need to loop through all the data in the data set. Okay. So this is what we are doing here. We are looping through the data set. Then we will be checking, okay, exclude all the, so this is a kind of a regular expression. Okay, here we are checking all the special, remove all the special characters. We are only allowing the characters between A to Z and small a to Z and 0 to 9. Rest of all the characters are removed from here. So that is what this particular line says. Then obviously next we are lowering it. Okay, then we are splitting the sentence into words. Okay, so by default we are splitting based on the space. So once that is done, the next step is we will be converting these words to its root form. Okay, for that we are using the Porter stemmer. So here we can see that the review is a list of words we have now. So we are looping through these words. Okay, then we are checking this particular word not in our stop words. Okay, so we are here, we are filtering all the stop words. Okay, in that case we are finding the stem of that particular word, that means the root of that particular words, and that assigned with a variable CP. Okay, finally we are joining this CP, then we are adding this with the corpus. So corpus is a list, empty list, then we are adding all the sentence to this corpus. So we can run this. Okay, here we can see that, okay, this is our final corpus. So this is our X. Okay, technically if you say this corpus is our X, then we need to check our Y. Okay, so our Y is, let me add it here. So this is our Y. Okay, the Y says ham or spam. So we need to convert this into integers, because machine learning only understand the integers, right? So for that we will be using the dummies here. Okay, pd.get dummies, then we are passing this particular data set. So let me run it here and let me avoid this drop first. Okay, so here we can see that it has a two columns, one is ham and one is spam. So here we know that we don't need these two columns, right? So only by this column we know that it's a ham or spam. For example, if ham is 1 or like spam is, if you say spam is 0, that means it is not a spam, right? If it is 1, that means it's a ham. So we only need the one column. So this will also help us in the computational. So that is why we are adding the drop first here. See, the drop first is true. That means we are only showing the necessary values. We are only keeping only the one column here. Okay, so let me print it here. So this is taking only the spam column only, then it is arranging the values there, 0 or 1. So the first part of the pre-processing is done. Now we need to split our data. Before going to the vectorization, it's a good practice to split into train and the test data. Okay, so for that, as usual in machine learning, we will be using the train test split. So here the corpus is our X and we have our Y, and I have tested the 20% as a test size. So let me run this. So we have our X train and we have our Y train. Okay, so that is there. Now we need to convert these text into the vectors. Okay, for that we are using the count vectorizer. So let me run this. I hope you guys already aware of this count vectorizer. So let me create a object of count vectorizer. So what actually count vectorizer do? Count vectorizer will take all the unique words and it will check, okay, how many number of times it is repeating, okay, in a sentence. So that is what actually count vectorizer will do. So we have the count vectorizer, then we will fit and transform our X train data. So let me run it. Okay, I already run it, that's why I'm getting this error. So let me run this again. Train, now white train, now let me run it. So this is done. Okay, so if I run xtrain, we will have the xtrain as a array. Similarly, we have to do this for the xtest also. So for xtest, we don't need to run the fit and transform, we only need to do the transform part. Okay, here I have printed the shape of the test. Okay, and this is the shape of our train. Okay, this is the shape of our white train and the white test. Okay, so here we are using the random classifier. So let me run this. I have created the object of random classifier. Then I am using random classifier dot fit xtrain and the white train. Yeah, similar to our normal machine learning model. So this may take couple of seconds. Not, I think it's taking some 10 to 20 seconds here. We can see. So this is in progress. Okay, yeah, this is done now. Now we can use our X test for the prediction. Okay, so let me run it here. Okay, so this fast. Okay, now we can check the accuracy of the model. For that, I am downloading the accuracy score, confusion matrix, and the classification report from the sklearn metrics. So here we have got 98% of accuracy, and the confusion matrix is also pretty good. So we can see that the classification reports. Here we can see that precision recall and the weighted average, everything is like very close. So this model is really good model. Okay, so here we have created this model. Now we need to save this model so that we can use it in our web application or like in any other application. Okay, so now the training part is done. We have created the model. Now we need to save the model. Okay, for that I have created a class called SMS Spam Classifier. So let me show you that class first. Okay, when we go to this entity, here I have created a SMS Spam Classifier. So in this SMS Spam Classifier, we have a init method, this constructor. It will accept few parameters. One is count vectorizer, second one is our random forest model, then third parameter is our stop words. Then we are creating a Potter stemmer object. Okay, so here we have a clean data. Okay, what this clean data actually does, as I explained earlier, I hope you guys are remembering this, right? We are doing all the cleaning process. We are checking any special characters are there, then if it is there we are removing that, then we are lowering the data, then we are splitting, then we are calculating the stem of the particular words. Okay, that is what actually happening here. Okay, so we have like another method that is called a predict method. Okay, so here we will give the input text. Okay, in predict method we will give our input text. This input text first we will call this clean data method. Okay, so once this is called, we will get a cleaned data list. So once that is there, what we will do, we will then transform our data. We already have our count vectorizer. Okay, this is our trained count vectorizer. So we will use the transform to clean, on this clean data. So we will get our input. Then once we have the transform data, we will call our model.predict method. Okay, so this will give us the result. This will say, okay, based on the value, this will say it is ham or spam. Okay, so this is all about this particular spam classifier model. This is a custom classifier model. Okay, so here I have created an object of this SMS spam classifier. Here I have set all the values. This count vectorizer that is already transformed, which has all the data. Okay, and this is our trained model, and this is our custom stop words. So using that, we have created a SMS spam classifier. Okay. So we have this object. Okay. So for testing, what I have done, I have called SMS dot predict, then I have given a text here. So we can run it here. This is done. Okay. So its value is 1. That means it is a spam text. Okay. So in this particular cell, what is actually happening? So when we call SMS dot predict, it will actually come to this predict method. Okay, this predict method. Here we will do the cleaning of data. Here we will do the transformation. Then we will do the prediction. The result will be returned. So that is what actually happened in this particular cell. Now, to save this model, we will import pickle. Okay. Then we will save this to as a pickle file. This particular model, we will be saving it as a pickle file. So here we can see in that project structure, you can see the model. So I have created a pickle file. Okay. So in later stage, we can load this pickle, then we can call the predict method. Okay. So this is what we are going to do when we integrate this with the Flask. Okay, I hope up to till point it is very clear. Now let me go to that app.py. Okay, here we have a app.py file. So this app.py file is responsible for running the Flask. So here we have the Flask object. Okay, here we have this Flask is already there in the, if you go to the requirement.py, I have all the requirements are mentioned here. Okay, so the Flask installation is done. Okay, now let me explain. So this is the app. Okay, this is actually not needed. Okay, so here what we will do, we are creating a context of this app. Okay, because this model, we need to keep this model as a global, right? Each time we don't need to, like, whenever a person is calling our function, we don't need to create it like each and every time, right? So we can create it globally. Okay, that is why we are creating a context and we are loading our classifier. So this is our load classifier method. Here this is a very simple method. What we are doing here, we are loading. So in our earlier section in the notebook, we found that we serialized, or like we saved our data as a pickle, right? Here we are opening that file and we are loading this particular pickle file. So we will have this SMS spam classifier object. Okay, so this is we have assigned this to flask.model variable. Okay, so now this is a kind of a what we will call a global variable here. So we know, so this is a simple function here. Okay, in this function we are checking if some, so we have the form. I hope you guys remembering, like we discussed about a form where we can, text box where we can enter something and we can hit the button, right? So when we hit the button, it will come here. It will come here. That's a post method. So it will come here. Okay. Then by default, I have set it as a ham. Okay. Then what it does is it will call model.predict and we will pass this message to this predict function. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, let me say it again. It will come here. It will come here, this particular function, then it will do the cleanup. Okay. Then it will do the transformation, then it will do the prediction. Okay. That is what happens when we say Flask model.predict. Okay. So based on this status, we can check if the value is 1, that means it is spam. Okay. If the value is 0, it is already ham. We already mentioned that it is a ham. Okay. Then we will run, we will pass this particular status to the template. Okay. So we have a template that index.html, then we will pass this data. Okay. So when we come to our project structure, we can see here we have a template. Here we have a small index.html file. So here we are checking if the message status is not empty. Okay, we are checking if any value is there. If any value is there, we will show the particular status. The message that you have entered is maybe ham or spam. Okay. And yeah, this is about showing the details, and here this is our form. Okay, this form has a input text and it has a submit button also. So let me run it again. I will show you. Let me run it again. Python app.py. So let me run it again. So we will have the data. So we have this data. So let me enter this one. See, the message you have entered is spam. Otherwise, if I say hello, how are you, then it will be a ham. Okay. So I hope this is very clear. I try to explain like each and every point. Okay. That is all about in this video. Please do like and subscribe. Okay. I will share all the links in the detail page. Okay. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.